AskReddit. What profession is absolutely evil and why? Telemarketers who scam the elderly. I honestly can't think of anything worse. These people prey on the most vulnerable members of society, like elderly folks who are already confused, lonely, or dealing with cognitive decline. They manipulate them into handing over their savings, pensions, and personal info. Imagine stealing someone's retirement money who can barely keep up with what's happening, just so you can make a quick buck. These scammers probably sleep fine at night, but how can anyone justify that level of evil? It's like the perfect combo of heartless and greedy. Payday loan companies. They target people who are already struggling financially, and the interest rates they charge are absolutely predatory. Like you're giving a loan to someone who clearly needs help, but you're making it impossible for them to pay it back. It's modern-day usury, but somehow totally legal. I've seen people get trapped in these never-ending cycles of debt because of one emergency expense, and the lenders just sit back and profit from their misery. How is that even allowed? Paparazzi are straight-up evil. I get that celebs are public figures, but some of the stuff these people do is beyond intrusive. They stalk people, camp outside their homes, hound them at airports and restaurants, and then sell the most unflattering or private moments for cash. The worst is when they go after kids of celebrities who didn't even choose to be in the public eye. Imagine growing up with strangers sticking cameras in your face every time you go out with your mom or dad. It's such a toxic profession. And the fact that there's a market for it blows my mind. Human traffickers. It's literally the most evil profession I can think of. These people take advantage of the most desperate and vulnerable, often luring them in with promises of work or a better life, and then selling them into slavery. It's not just physical abuse. They break these people mentally and emotionally. It's one thing to exploit someone's labor, which is already horrific, but to turn people into commodities to be bought and sold, there's no justification for that kind of evil. What's even worse is how many layers of corruption and criminal networks keep this industry running. Honestly, it makes me question how messed up the world is when this can still be happening. Pharmaceutical executives who jack up prices on life-saving medications. Seriously, how can you look at a drug that people need to stay alive and then decide to make it unaffordable just to boost your bottom insulin? EpiPens, cancer treatments. They hike the prices knowing full well people will suffer or even die because they can't afford the medicine. And for what? Higher quarterly profits. The idea that some CEO is making millions, while others are dying because they can't pay for a product that could save them is beyond disgusting. It's a special kind of evil to put money over human lives like that. For-profit prisons. The entire concept is evil. Think about it. The goal of a private prison is to keep as many people locked up as possible because that's how they make money. It creates this sick incentive to push for longer sentences, harsher laws, and more incarceration. And the people running these places cut corners on safety, food, healthcare, and rehabilitation programs because they're more focused on profit than actually helping the people they imprison. The fact that there are literal business models based on mass incarceration blows my mind. It's dystopian F. Revenge porn website admins, or anyone involved in that whole industry. Not only are you profiting off people's intimate moments being shared without their consent, but you're also absolutely destroying their lives. People lose jobs, relationships, and their mental health suffers. I read a story about someone who ended up taking their own life because of how badly they were harassed after their private images were leaked. These websites basically foster a culture of abuse, and it's terrifying how hard it can be to get that stuff taken down once it's out there. Like, how can you sleep at night knowing you're profiting from people's pain and humiliation? Defense lawyers who defend obviously guilty rapists and abusers. I know. Everyone has a right to legal defense. But when you're out there using every dirty trick in the book to discredit the victim or exploit some technicality to get your client off, you're doing harm to society. Especially when it's a high-profile case and the victim is dragged through the mud, while the lawyer basically turns it into a spectacle. Like you're actively contributing to rape culture and making it harder for real victims to come forward. That's gotta eat away at you, right? Lobbyists for the tobacco industry. Honestly, it blows my mind that people still defend this stuff. You're literally promoting a product that kills people, and the only goal is to get more people hooked so they spend their entire lives addicted, like they know what they're doing is deadly. But they'll fight tooth and nail to prevent regulations, push for more ads, and even target younger people. It's disgusting. You know you're profiting from people dying early. How do you justify that to yourself? People who work for scammy rehab centers. Like families trust these places to help their loved ones who are struggling with addiction, and these centers turn it into a money-making scheme. There are places that take in patients, do the bare minimum, and charge insurance companies ridiculous amounts. Meanwhile, the patients don't get the help they actually need, and many of them relapse because they never got proper treatment in the first place. It's tragic, and it's preying on people when they're at their lowest. Absolutely no morality there. Child beauty pageant organizers. This might seem minor compared to stuff like human trafficking, but think about it. You're literally profiting from the exploitation and over-sexualization of children. These pageants promote all kinds of unhealthy beauty standards and competitive behaviors at such a young age. They're teaching little girls that their worth is tied to their appearance and how well they perform in front of judges. And let's not even get started on the kind of creeps these events attract. It's just gross all around. People who create ransomware targeting hospitals. I can't even imagine what kind of person would do that. Like, you're actively trying to take down the systems that keep people alive. Whether it's medical records, treatments, or critical patient info, and you're doing it just for money. There was that case where a baby died because the hospital systems were down due to a ransomware attack. That's blood on the hacker's hands. It's not just some faceless corporate victim, it's real people's lives at stake. How could you possibly justify that?